One language, one way to pray, and now I can pray anywhere and then feel unified.
It's an occupational government. It's not the Constitution that failed.
The Middle Eastern garb, and he had like this dagger thing in his belt that have such low IQ religious takes that Prophet Issa and then Jesus in the Bible are two different people. She even said that they could be sitting on the toilet in the bathroom to pray. Cleanly as possible, right? We clean ourselves 5 times a day. No matter where I'm at, China, Japan, Germany, that's all the fault of Protestants. What's up, guys? My name is Jovian. This is Crescent Cross Covenant Coalition, or CCCC. And much like I've said in the past, the purpose of these videos is to heal the divide between Christians and Muslims and showcase to Christians and anyone in between what the actual beliefs are of Muslims and our actual doctrine, our actual pillars, our actual faith. That way there is no victims to the propaganda that the West is pushing against Islam. Much like I said previously, for example, things like the shooting of the National Guards in Washington, D.C., right, with the Afghan shooter, the Afghan refugee shooting them, or these 2 supposed ISIS members killing a bunch of people celebrating Hanukkah in Bondi Beach in Australia, right? Like, whether those are both Muslims or not only are those things not reflective of Islam and our belief system, but also those people might not be Muslims, but let's assume they are. The propaganda that they're going to package around that to be anti-Islam, to make you think that those things are reflective of Islam, that's why I'm here. To make sure I package things in a way that a Western audience can understand, because I come from you guys. I am of the Western world. I hate that I have to say this, but 3rd generation. I'm here, I'm an American, 3rd generation American, Puerto Rican and Portuguese. I'm of a Roman Catholic upbringing, and I converted to Islam in 2021. I come from the music world, the acting world, the fashion world, so the liberal world. I am an ex-liberal, as they would say. So yeah, I don't have a specific topic today. I kind of just wanted to turn on the camera and talk, but I did have an insane letter that I received. So I'm from Brooklyn, New York, but I live in Staten Island, New York right now. And I got a letter, handwritten. If this is legible, then please, editor, edit this out. Blur this, I mean. Someone found my full government name and my address, my home address, and sent me a handwritten letter. And I've never in my life received a handwritten letter, period. And I've never received a handwritten letter from a stranger. So this is December 19th that I received this. And I'm not gonna read all of this. It's actually a little tough to read. It's really nice. It's really nice script, handwriting, but this is legit a woman's handwriting. And what it is from the Jehovah's Witness, is it plural? From the Jehovah's Witness Church. Yes, Jehovah's, it's plural. The Jehovah's Witness Church here in Staten Island. They own jw.org, which is hard. That's dope that they even own that. I love domains and I love handles, so that's cool. But I'm writing to you because although I am unable to speak to you in person, I have some important information that I really wanted to share with you. Handwritten. This is not like a general thing that they send. This is handwritten for me. So with the economy declining and crime on the rise, many wonder who or what will bring a lasting solution to these problems. Have you ever asked yourself that question? The satisfying answer to that question, and many others like it, are found in the Bible. 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 16 and 17 tells us all scripture is inspired of God, okay, and beneficial for teaching, for improving, for setting things straight, for disciplining in righteousness, so that the man of God may be truly competent, completely equipped for every good work. And it goes on, blah, 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 blah. Not blah, 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 like I'm disrespecting the Bible. More so just like there's a lot of shit here. And they're asking me to come in. They are asking me to come and speak to them directly. I would say they got my name and my address randomly, you know, maybe on like some kind of list or something. But now that I've pivoted to speaking about God and religion in general and politics, and healing this divide, like I said, is my mission. It's really queer, right? Queer is a good word. Queer means strange. Don't let these gay N-words tell you that queer means some sort of questioning gay thing. I'm not allowing them to hijack that word. That's a dope word. So this is queer. This letter is queer. That now that I'm creating content that is religious and political and healing this divide between Christians and Muslims, now I got this letter. Like when I was a musician and putting out regular artsy content, right? Like haram content, I got nothing. I've never gotten anything like this. So this person, Rita, not only can I not read that last name, but I don't want to dox them. Yeah, I don't know what her last name says. I can't read that. But Rita, she sent this to me, and this is sus, this is queer, and they're noticing already. And that sounds very conspiratorial, but I promise you, bruh, or sis, if a sis is watching this, I've never gotten anything like this. So that's weird. And I've only been posting videos now. They're a little delayed from when I filmed them, but probably the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And it's been so rewarding to get any sort of response because like I've said in the past, like these are just my ideas. I don't have to package an art like a song or an album or clothes in a certain way or a music video and hope people are seeing deeper into, you know, the messaging of what I'm saying or, you know, maybe in an interview or something. It's none of that. It's just straight ideas. So it's been dope that people have been resonating with me about my ideas and the ways I want to heal both the Christian and the Muslim communities and heal that divide and create understanding and prosperity and take that politically. It's odd that I would get such a weird letter like that. So on the one hand, it shows that it's resonating. On another hand, it shows that maybe there's a little bit of a threat, but this is sus. It's queer, the Old English version of the word queer. And I feel like that's something that I need to now like be extra cautious of. Like, who the fuck is this bitch? And like, how did she find me? My full government name, my address, where I live, handwritten letter, talking about God when prior to 2 months ago is when I announced my channel, but so I guess technically prior to 2 months ago, I wasn't even tweeting about this stuff. Like within the span of 2 months, I got this for the first time in my life. That's crazy. That is crazy. Another thing that's crazy is, I sort of touched on this in one of my previous videos, but there's like a few of these like Nigerian Christians that have such low IQ religious takes, but they're not, obviously if they're talking about Christianity, then bro, like I'm not, you know, I don't care, right? Because yeah, talk about your faith, dope. Like that's dope that you're spreading, as long as it's truthful, that's dope that you're spreading your message. But the moment you turn your message into a derogatory statement against Muslims, I'm gonna slap the shit out of you. Not physically, verbally, okay? I don't, no violence. That just came out, but not physically. I'm gonna slap the shit out of you verbally through the internet, digitally, and, you know, put you in your place, because some of these low IQ Nigerian takes are just insane. And there's low IQ takes everywhere, but there's like a sect of like Nigerian Christians that are just attacking Islam. And this one bitch said that, and I said this in a previous episode, that Prophet Issa and then Jesus in the Bible are two different people. So Prophet Issa in the Quran and then Jesus in the Bible, they're separate people. Meanwhile, they were both born to Miriam or Mary, who was a virgin and had the miracle of speaking at birth, and, you know, the whole other long list of similarities between both stories. And then again, the only difference was that you guys believe he was crucified, and we believe he was swapped out before he could get crucified. You believe he died and then rose again in 3 days and then went to heaven. And then we believe when he was swapped out, he was sent to heaven. That's the same story. That's the same story. Yeah, the little details are different. That's the same exact story. How is that two different people, right? Like this person, I'm gonna make sure all the tweets are up somewhere over here. Like, she's so stupid. That's like me saying, there's a Spanish family and his name is Wang, right? Juan, right? And then in America, they call him John, but like, that's two different people, right? Like, that's like, no, John is a separate person from Wang. But it's like, no, that's just the translation, bro. That's the name's translation. So Issa, that's Arabic. In English, that's Jesus, but it's the same person. She said something else that was so stupid. And I'll put that up too, where she said, in Christianity, Christians can pray wherever they want, whenever they want, in any language they want, because their God is not a tyrant. She even said that they could be sitting on the toilet in the bathroom to pray, right? Which is fine, okay, you could believe that. But then to attack my faith, right? Like, you're juxtaposing your faith and how it's correct, and then my faith, how it's tyrannical. Like, you're a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit. And speaking about shit, what I said to her is like, your claim is that like can be falling out of my ass and I can pray to God while shit is coming out of my ass. And our claim is, no, we need to be as cleanly as possible, right? We clean ourselves 5 times a day if we have to make sure we're purified before we pray to God, to showcase to him, hey, I'm willing to do XYZ. I'm willing to do all of these steps to ensure I'm in the most pure possible state of being when I pray to you and praise you and submit and showcase that not only am I grateful, but that I have you in my mind. I have you in my mind in everything I do. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. And it's the same language, because now I can go to China, or I can go to Japan, or I can go to Germany, and not only will I fit right in to the Muslims that are there when I were to go to the mosque, now we can all speak the same language. You know, and that's not to say we're all fluent in Quranic Arabic, but now religiously we're all on the same page. No matter where I'm at, China, Japan, Germany, Morocco, right? Anywhere I go now, I can fit right in seamlessly. And then outside of the mosque, all right, then that's the cultural difference, right? But once we step inside God's house, once we step inside the mosque, now we're all one. And that's incredible. That's an incredible feature, if I were to call it that, of Islam, where no matter where you come from or no matter where you go, there will always be an alignment. We might not align on politics, we might not align on fashion, we might not align on culture, we might not align on the foods we with, but once you step into the mosque, that's it. No more opinions. No more opinions. It's just straight up, we're all in alignment, all one, and we all do the same exact thing. Bro, that is brilliant. SubhanAllah. SubhanAllah. That's incredible. That's incredible wisdom and foresight that we live in a world now with like 800 different languages or whatever the hell and different cultures all over. But when it comes to Islam, it's just one. Just one. And that's not to knock Christianity, but you can't use your and then knock ours. You can't knock our faith because you think it's okay to pray while you is coming out of your asshole. And then what does that do? That creates sectarianism. Is that a word? Sectarianism? That creates sectarianism within your faith, because now people are praying and doing things religiously for God based on their feelings. So if I want to take a and pray to God in Christianity, astaghfirullah, I could do that because it's based on my feelings. And I could do any language I want, and that's why there's no unified way to pray in Christianity. And it's not a dig, right? I'm never gonna pull things out of my chest of critiques of Christianity. Like I don't care about that. That's not what this is. That's not what I'm here for. That's not what this channel's here for. But once you attack what I believe in, it's like, yo, like, don't force me to do this shit, because I'm not here to debate. I'm here to heal. I'm here to heal. But in this instance, in this context, because of going about your religion based on your heart, on your feelings, that is why there is sectarianism in your faith abundantly. Protestantism, right? To be a Protestant, it's the Protestants' fault. Like all these different sects, S-E-C-T-S, sects, that's all the fault of Protestants. So, all that being said, this gotta shut the fuck up. I hate when I see her on my timeline because I have to say something. And yeah, it's just like, it's so low IQ, bro. Like one language, one way to pray, and now I can pray anywhere and then feel unified, right? Now it's called the Ummah, right? The Ummah, the group, the general group of Muslims throughout the world, and it's the Ummah, the general followers of Islam all over the world, the Ummah. I can connect with any of them at any capacity, at any age, because it's all the same, and that's incredible. And I feel like that sort of goes into this thing I saw of Alex Jones, where he said that the Quran is like a militant, like a military manual on how Muslims can take over wherever they live, right? So now you have these Christians attacking the way Muslims view Jesus, and that Jesus and Issa are different people than then they're critiquing how Muslims pray, right? And then all of that stuff, especially the way we pray, when you start to add your feelings to it, that sort of allows things like nationalism and like where you derive, like where you come from, like what country your family comes from and what country your family resides in. That sort of even allows the door to open to have nationalism to take over your faith and your belief in God. And so Alex Jones is a good example of that. And, you know, I grew up really, really appreciating a lot of the work he's done and a lot of the fight he's done for Americans and for the West. And then it's almost like the more he got attacked and got in trouble by the system, he like doubled down on his beliefs, but then also doubled down on hating Islam and like blaming Islam for everything. And he said, yeah, like the Quran is a militant or a military manual on how Muslims can take over wherever they reside. And like that is so retarded. I honestly don't even know where he got that from. And I've said this previously, like either he's lying, he's like a lying piece of shit, or he's a fucking idiot. Because I don't know where he could even get that from. This guy is so well read, for anyone that like watches his show or have seen things about him. Like he really predicted 9/11.
They wanted to blow up airlines, kill Americans, bomb Washington for a pretext to invade Cuba. That's in the Baltimore Sun. It's an occupational government. It's not the Constitution that failed. It's us that failed.
Like a couple months before it happened. And so he's like really well read. So for him to be saying this, like either he's reading Islam from like a third party, like someone else who's writing about Islam who hates Islam, or he's looking at things that hate Islam, but there's no way he read the Quran. I did the research. 2.6% of the Quran has anything to do with physical conflict, where there's a physical altercation between two parties. 2.6%. It was 164 verses out of over 6,000 verses that have any correlation with any kind of state of conflict. So how is the Quran a military manual? Like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? And he's so on point with so many other things that everyone who watches his show who's not Muslim, and I guarantee there's really no, I bet I'm the only Muslim probably watching his shit, they're all gonna believe it. And now he's weaponizing a system to blame everything on Islam, and that Islam is taking over America. So why is he saying this shit? Again, he's either stupid or he's a lying piece of shit. There's no in between. There's no in between with something like that. And he's just a great example of this idea of nationalism, you know, and, you know, part of, like, of course, I'm American, freedom of speech to the extent it exists. I f with it. I have a whole video on that about freedom of speech in America and how it doesn't really exist. But to the extent that it does, we are in a great country that allows this to a certain extent, right? Like I'm filming here and I can post this. They can shadow ban it, but I can still at least post it. And little by little, as I build more and more of a following, despite any shadow ban, I can still build something great. So there's at least there's upward mobility in America through freedom of speech, quote unquote. But I'm finding a lot of Christians are replacing God and their religion with nationalism, right? This idea of your race and where your race resides is like overtaking that void that religion and God is supposed to fill. So more and more like, and part of it is just a response to like anti-white rhetoric and like, the white replacement in America and in the West. So I get that, but that's meant for you to lean into God even more for support and for guidance, not to use that attack to now have you being white and you being American to replace that void that God is supposed to fill. And I think he's really weaponizing that. And there's a bunch of others too, but he's just doing the worst because he's like the main one that is white Christian, has a platform, and then is like saying shit like anti-Islam, and that how Islam is the reason that a lot of things are going wrong in America and that we're taking over, when, bro, we're less than 2%. Even politically, like, what representation do we have? Like a bunch of fake Muslims who are in the Democratic Party, or Democratic Socialists like Zoran Mamdani. Like, those guys aren't representative or reflective of Islam. So the 6 or 7 that are in politics, they're all Democrats, so they're not even really Muslim. And if they are, I don't mean disrespectfully, but they don't represent Islam in any way. And then how many Muslim billionaires are in America that actually have influence, right? Like, I don't even know. I haven't even researched it because I know it's nothing. There's no influence here. And then to the extent they always say Qatar, or Qatar. I don't know, some people on social media say Qatar, but I think it's Qatar. But, to the extent that Qatar has any influence on us, like, come on, bro. You guys know what you're doing. So this idea of nationalism, it's stripping you away from connecting you with others in your faith, in God, and like that's supposed to be the connective tissue. That's supposed to be your community. Instead, it's stripping that, and now nationalism, and in this case being white, like that's what's connecting you with your community, and that's your God now. Nationalism, freedom of speech, America. But the connective tissue is supposed to be your faith in God and your similarities with others and in your belief structure and your belief system. Like, that's supposed to be what connects a society, not the idea that, okay, like you're Mediterranean Italian white and then you're German white, and maybe that's close enough so we can fight for the good of America. But hey, you're like Slavic white, and then you're Russian white, and you're Ukrainian white. That's a different white. That's not Mediterranean. So it's like, okay, now you go over there. Like, there's so many. It ends up getting more and more sectarian that I don't even know what has more sects, Christianity or freaking white nationalism. And it gets to the point where like people are getting riled up and teaming up based on that. But like, then where's God? Where's your faith in God? I think Nick Fuentes does this pretty well, but it's still going to weaponize and excite the wrong sort of sentiments. And I don't think that is a good way to live, which goes into why Islam is so powerful, that I can go to Japan or Germany or even anywhere in America, and we can all be aligned on the same way to pray, the same way to praise God, the same pillars, right? The same ways we go about our religion. And yeah, there might be minor differences here and there, but the general pillars are always the same. We all have the same pillars, the same doctrine, the same ways we go about our faith. And maybe there's little things like the way people dress are different. I remember I did one of my first, for Eid, which is the last day of Ramadan, we all go pray outside. And there was a guy next to me with a sword. And he had like the Muslim garb, right? The Middle Eastern garb. And he had like this dagger thing in his belt. And I got so scared. Again, I was a baby Muslim. I mean, I'm still a baby Muslim, but I was a baby Muslim. And I was like, yo, like there's a Shia next to me. Like, I didn't know that they come. I didn't know that they join us, that they come to this. Like, I don't want them, and no disrespect, but the Shias love to fucking torture themselves and shit. Whatever, again, that's like a small percentage of Islam. So I was like, yo, is he gonna cut himself or some shit? Like, I didn't know, I've never seen it before. And then turns out he was Yemeni. And the Yemenis during Eid, like they just have a dagger. Like, that's just culturally what they do. So that scared the fuck out of me, but then I realized, oh no, that's just culturally different, but we're still there to pray for the same thing, for the same reason, and the same way. And that's how you protect yourself from like focusing on the Ummah, right? On the Islam community, the Muslim community. And in Christianity, it's like the Baptist, the born again Baptist, or the reverted Baptist, something else, the Protestant, the Christians, the Roman Catholics, the Orthodox, the Greek, all these different things. And then you guys end up just teaming up together and saying the other one's going to hell. So which one's going to hell? Because they all think the other one's going to hell. How do you even team up after that? It doesn't make any sense. And then yet we're being attacked when like we don't deal with any of that stuff. And those are the things that you should take notes on. How to be one, how to be one community, how to align on things. You know, and you know, maybe that's what I'm here for. You know, maybe me showcasing how us Muslims do it, that could be a great way for you guys to adopt some of those same things, you know? Because again, I'll always repeat this, I keep getting into so many unwanted debates because that's not what I'm here for. I do not want to convert you, and you cannot convert me. So when we start to meet up, there's no debating. There's no need for debates. Muslims are Muslims, Christians are Christians. The whole point of this is to showcase that we are different, but we're parallel, we're not opposites. So I'm showcasing that we are parallel and that we are 90% aligned. And I'm not here to talk about that 10%, because that 10% is what makes you Christian and what makes me Muslim. Talking to me about how Jesus is God and Jesus is not a prophet. Hey, you're talking about the 10% that if I believed, I would be Christian. So you're talking to me about something that I don't believe in, and that is exactly why I'm Muslim. So why are you telling me Christian doctrine when I'm stating the Muslim perspective and how we're so similar to you? And I've gotten so many debating low IQ people like telling me how I'm wrong. I can't be wrong if this is Islam. Like, it's one thing if a Muslim is telling me, hey, you said this wrong. You know, hey, we don't actually believe this. That's a weak hadith, whatever it may be. That's different, because then that means I actually said something wrong about my faith. But Christians, you can't say I'm wrong, because I'm just sharing the truth of Islam. So you can't say I'm wrong and then share Christian doctrine. But if I believed in Christian doctrine, then I'd be Christian. Is that like, that's not profound. You know, if my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle. If I believed Jesus was God, then I would be Christian. So what I'm showcasing to you is that, hey, I don't believe he's God. We don't believe he's God, but we actually revere him so much, and we believe he's the Messiah. We believe he's coming back. And here's what we believe within that framing and how it's so similar to what you guys believe. I don't get how that's so tough to comprehend. Thankfully, there have been a few amazing Christians that are like, oh wow, like I didn't know that you guys revered Prophet Issa, peace be upon him, you know, Prophet Jesus in this way. And yeah, like, they agreed we'd never align on our full beliefs in Jesus, but the fact that we believe he's the Messiah, we believe he's coming back, we believe he was almost crucified, he ascended to heaven, right? God saved him and swapped him out. That's blowing people's minds. And then those are the open-hearted people that are willing to build this coalition. But the majority of these people are like debating with me on how I'm wrong. But I can't be wrong. You know, I didn't say Noah spoke. I didn't say Noah was birthed from a virgin and spoke at his, you know, on his first day of being on earth. No, it said Jesus. Okay, so that means I'm right, right? I didn't say Noah was almost crucified and then swapped out with Jesus and then now he's in heaven, right? If I said that, then I'd actually be wrong. I'd be lying. No, I said that's Jesus, you know? Or I didn't say Jesus built an ark because of the flood and saved as many of the believers as possible, right? I didn't say that. That's Noah. So I'm not lying. 9 episodes in and you guys are already frustrating me. This is gonna be fun. But yeah, I think that's all I got for you. I just wanted to do a little bit of a stream of consciousness from things I saw over the last couple of days. And yeah, again, healing this divide one video at a time. And then we'll take it political. And, you know, we'll start doing things to create a world that we align with and that we want to live in. Again, my name is Jovian. This is Crescent Cross Covenant Coalition. You can smash the follow button, smash the like button, subscribe, follow. I'm on Instagram. My bad with all that. I'm on Instagram. I am on YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, I think Apple, hopefully. Twitter is just my personal Twitter. I think it's Jovian, but with 4 J's. And yeah. And then I have a personal Instagram that's just my name, Jovian. It's just music stuff on there from my previous life. But yeah, please follow me on everything. I'm excited to continue to build this and align with people and collaborate with other creators within this space to just share our ideas and how we can heal both communities. And yeah, thank you guys so much for making it this far and tuning in. Catch you in the next one.